Hi there, Alice Wheaton here again. Thank you for joining me. This video is called How to Be Invited Back. In the last video I did, number 2, we talked about how it is that the agronomist will show up with the farmer and be really extra friendly and assume that the farmer is feeling the same way, and that's not necessarily so. Just because someone is polite and welcoming does not mean to say that a big rapport has been built up. And so this is called How to Be Invited Back. I'd actually built this model here, and then just before we turned on the camera, I decided to title it, so forgive my lopsided title. But you already know by now that I'm completely imperfect. So this is a tree of knowledge, and true knowledge is in the root of the issue. And when you go to see a client, you already have bushels and bushels of knowledge at your disposal. You've probably been in the business for years, you or your family already farm, and you know how to engage your client. And so there is a big temptation to engage the client in all kinds of other issues other than one that you are there to talk about. To do this is to have your main question defined. What is the main question that you're going to ask that farmer today? When you ask the main question, that farmer is going to give you an answer. And if you listen well, or if you're busy though, thinking about what you're going to say next, this formula won't work. That's called the self-centered formula. This is the client-centered formula. So if you stay attuned to the client, listen to the answer, you will know that the last sentence or two of their answer will give the seed of the next question. So this is question 1. And then they will give you another answer. And the seed of that will help you have question 2. And so on it goes. And then you'll have the third answer. And when you have the third answer, you can get the next question. And this will then give you enough information that you can close for the next event or the next stage of the process, of your selling process. And you're saying to yourself, well, what do you mean by that? Well, there's only 2 ways to close, really. One is to ask straight up for the order. The second one is to go through this way, which, by the way, is a much more client engaged manner. So what happens is that they give you the question 1 and an answer, question 2 an answer, question 3 an answer, and in there has been a lot of information. And you take that information, you distill it down. At this stage, what you do is you repeat back to the client, I heard this, I heard this, I heard this. Well, my solution would be to do this. Why don't we start with 1 acre or one acre? Why don't we start with one whole section? Why don't we start with your whole farm? And for each one, you give them the benefits of each one. Well, this one would be a good idea to take option 1, a good idea for option 2, and a good idea for option 3. And for each option you give them, the benefits increase incrementally. And so you give them a choice. So as I see it, we could do A, we could do B, we could do C. Which would you think would be the best solution? You then, when you're actually closing for the order, you actually are doing it based on understanding the root of the issue. Once you understand the root of the issue, and I'll never see plant roots ever again, same again, after Egder gave me a tour through the lab. It made me see plants and now understand how busy they are in trying to absorb all of the nutrients from the soil. And so when you understand the root of the issue, then you'll be able to make a really intelligent suggestion about the next possible 3 steps. With each step will be incrementally more exciting and beneficial for the client than the last. That's the challenge part of sales, and we'll talk about that some more. And so when you understand that, then the client is much more likely to become a client today, the prospect rather, than it is, next year or the year after. So I want to thank you for being with me today. This is a very, very powerful model. And I'm going to be presenting this and demonstrating that for each of the sales group I work with from now on a one-on-one and as a group basis, so that we really get to understand what the key 3-4 issues are that you need to ask as you're in front of your prospects. Thanks very much for joining me, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.